Boom. Synth fan from Orlando, Kathy Murphy. Tina G, Susie Brizuela, Fox Hill Dreams, Jamie from Wisconsin, Kimini, Peter is a boss, Alaska Cindy, RJ, Matt Meehan, Punxsutawney Mo, Johnny's 2 Cents, Kathleen Cross, Kathy Murphy, Gina Potter, Star Shoemate, Wojo Mom, Debbie Neiman, Karen Purdy, Lee Saunders, Samantha Hawkins, Tanis, Lucy, Stephanie, and BDD in the Heezy, Julianne Goutier, Samantha Hawkins, Deborah B, Jennifer Sawyer, Bernadette, Laura R, Sharon Morris, Resistor Sister 76, The Trump Reaper, Stella Baxter, Victorina, Cecile Kazimi, Cindy C, Monique Lee, Sandra from Paramount, California, Karen Purdy from Newton Falls, Ohio, Steph KW, M. Getz, everybody is here in the house. Paula Freitas, Michelle Warmoth, Plastecki, Patricia Haverkamp. Welcome to another episode of Storytime with BDD. I'm your host, BDD, aka Brooklyn Dad, and this is Storytime. Gling, gling. Happy Monday to all. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining me on CP Time. I hope you guys had a great weekend. I had a nice, mostly relaxy weekend. I did some stuff that I'm not going to bore you with, but Johnny's 2 Cents said I'd be lying if I said I don't hum the intro tune to myself all the time. You know what? I'd be lying if I said I didn't do the same thing. Ha! Gling, gling. All right, so let's jump on in to our roundup of the stories and content that I got for you today. It's called Stories of the Day. Stories of the Day. Elizabeth City is in a state of emergency as the family reviews footage of the shooting of Andrew Brown Jr. Oscar Night 2021 had some big surprises and some disappointments. The United States Census is in, and it's got even more disappointments. Speaking of disappointments, Representative Doug Collins is not running for re-election in 2022. We're not disappointed about that. He's just a big disappointment. Speaking of disappointments, Rick Santorum is today's You Raggedy Bish. All right, so I have some good news for those of you who have been following our daily update of our friend Death Metal Viking. Good old DMV has been posting updates, and it looks and sounds like he's feeling better. I haven't seen an update today, but this is from yesterday. Check it out.
Hey everybody, so this is Day 5 in the ICU. Still doing better. Able to breathe a little better. I'm responding still well to my medication. And I eat well. Everything's going pretty good so far. So hopefully in the next day or so I can finally get out of here. But, stay safe. This ain't no joke, by the way. I wouldn't wish this on my enemies.
Indeed. Indeed. And you know what? I appreciate his updates because when I found out he was in the ICU, that hit me. That hit me hard. Strangely, for somebody who I have not yet met in person, I do intend to meet him as well as many of you at some fortuitous, glorious day in the future. But yeah, it was concerning because it felt very real, like when you know somebody and you can actually see them in the ICU, and that's everybody's fear right now, is you don't want to catch that thing. And if you thought it was a joke, if you thought it was a hoax, then you're stupid. There's plenty of evidence to the contrary. This thing is real, and take it seriously. And the man in the hospital bed, who really just days ago was fighting for his life, and he's not out of the woods yet. He's not out of the woods yet, but he's improved. And I'm grateful to everybody who has sent him prayers and positive thoughts and light and energy. That stuff helps. In addition to the medications and the rigmarole that they put you through in the hospital, all that other stuff is just as important, I believe. Sandra says, "No leaving the hospital until you're strong enough to chase to chase the nurses." That's good. Um, so aside from that, Friday night, I told you guys we were going to be watching Mortal Kombat. And look, it was cheesy. I'm not going to pretend. I'm not like a Siskel and Ebert kind of movie reviewer. As long as I'm entertained with special effects and action, and as long as it's not too stupid, if I don't have to suspend my disbelief, extremely, I'm fine. And I'm fine. I was fine with this. I was entertained. I enjoyed it. Wasn't the best movie. Don't get me wrong. I gave it an 8 out of 10, and for me, that's okay. That's good. Um, yeah. My only complaint was it took far too long to get to this character. Get over here! That's Scorpion. For those of you who have not played the video game, Scorpion is the character who's like, get over here! Johnny's 2 cents says his wife was aghast at the amount of blood in the movie. It's obvious she has not played the games lately. Well, what I did enjoy, as someone who has played the game in the past, is that they had, fatality and, all those little nods to the video game. I like that. The other flick, Wifey and I checked out, and look, Wifey's not a big fan of blood and gore either. Believe you me, I know what movies she likes. Yes, it's definitely rated R, that last one, and I think this one is also rated R. This is Nobody, or as I like to pronounce it, Nobody. Nobody. Nobody is starring Bob Odenkirk from Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul fame. And he plays, an unassuming dude who's kind of stuck in a rut. Everybody know, most of you guys, I'm sure, can identify with being stuck in a rut, having a job that's blah blah blah. Um, and something shakes him out of this. He's like a former like assassin dude, the guy you do not want to see at your door. And something shakes him out of this, and he launches into action, and it is highly entertaining. I highly recommend it. It's Just trust me. It is very violent. It's very bloody, but I like the characters. I like the characters in this, and it's got a good ending. No spoiler. No spoiler. It's got a very good ending. I was entertained by it. All right, and DMV was not in that movie. Wait, come on, come on. There we go. All right. Let's see what's up next. We got our um quick hits. Let's jump on into the quick hits. Yeah! Yeah! Hit that summer, my beach! I see somebody made a mention. Pasta D says Bob Odenkirk equals Cinnabon manager. You know what's funny about Cinnabon? I don't know if you guys feel the same way, but if I've ever passed a Cinnabon, like in a mall or at the airport, usually there's Cinnabons are at the airport. It smells so intoxicating, right? And you're like, damn it, I've had Cinnabon before. I know after I've taken 2 bites, I'm gonna be like, this shit is too much. This is too much. Cinnabon, it's too much. I can't finish it. I don't want it anymore. But you got to go through that, and it's every single time. It's like I smell it. It's like, oh, it's so good. Let me get one of those Cinnabon, and 2 bites. That's it. No more. All right, quick hits. Where are you? Where's my quick hits? Here we go. Boom. Let's start off with something nice. Today is Miss Carol Burnett's 88th birthday. Yeah, I'm so glad we had this time together. Yes, when Scribble My Dibbles and I were little kiddles, we used to watch this with Mom. I think it came on Sunday nights, right? On CBS. This was like religiously we were watching this. She kept us in stitches. Oh, we loved some Carol Burnett, and that's her with the main cast. I think that's Harvey Korman, Tim, I can't remember his last name, and the lady up the top was Vicky something or other. This cast was fantastic, and they had great chemistry. And this right here, this picture is from one of her, Tim Conway. Thank you guys. Is from Vicki Lawrence. Thank you guys. You guys are awesome. This was from her spoof on the Gone with the Wind skit, where she's got a curtain rod attached to her shoulders, and this was a dig at the dress originally worn by Vivian Leigh in the movie Gone with the Wind. It's hysterical. Oh, best costume ever, Julian Gauthier. I agree. So yeah, when I saw her trending this morning, I feared the worst, as we all do. We all look for that Denzel relieved gif. Here's a fun fact. When she used to sing, I'm so glad we had this time together, at the end of the show, she used to tug on her ear, and that was a little sign between her and her grandmother, just to let her grandmother know that she was okay. So I'm glad she's still with us. Yeah, thank you so much for the laughs, Miss Carol Burnett. You are a legend. And hopefully we'll see some more comedy from you, or not. Next up, we have some more good news. Miss Val Demings, she's throwing her hat in the ring. Now, her hat is already in the ring. She's a representative in Florida, but she is now considering running either for Senate, United States Senate, or for governor of Florida. Either way, that's a win-win for Florida if they can get her over the top. Whichever one she chooses If she chooses to supplant this jackass, Ron DeSantis, that would be a win for Floridians. Um, or if she gets to replace Lil Marco Rubio, that's a win too, because he's as useless as a senator can possibly be. Hashtag Val's my gal. That's from SynthFan. That's right. And SynthFan also says hashtag remove Ron. That's Ron DeSantis, I'm sure. Yeah. Monique says, let Val whip their asses into shape. Yes, let her do that. Now, somebody who is not running in 2020, you might recognize this bombastic buffoon. This is Rep. Doug Collins from Georgia. This guy is probably a smart move for him because he couldn't even beat that robot that ran against Reverend Warnock, Kelly Loeffler. Couldn't beat her. Couldn't beat her. And she's horrible. She's horrible. Yeah. I see Matt Meehan saying he got a Target letter. I saw that. Oh no, you know what? It was Jim Jordan that got an F. There's a Republican, there's like a conservative Republican group that's giving these politicians in the GOP grades, and all but 14 members of the House got an F grade. Ooh, that's astounding. But Doug Collins' problem is that he is not being endorsed by the former guy. So as such, he's got to sit it out. He can't run for Senate. He can't run for governor. And it's amazing that the former guy still has wields so much influence throughout the party. So yeah, he can't run. In fact, the former guy has endorsed Herschel Walker, who is also a major disappointment. Former Heisman Trophy winner, current Trump kiss ass, Herschel Walker is being floated as like the next big thing because they think we are so, identity politics centered that we're going to see a black man and be like, oh, he's black, so we must. No. We know all about that. The Herman Cains and the Tim Scotts and nah, dude. So that's it for I think that's it for the quick hits. Let me just double check. Is that Carol? Yeah. That is it for the quick hits. Stella Baxter says Herschel Walker is a nobody now. Nobody. And that lets me bring it back to nobody. He is a nobody. All right. I've got some fun new videos for the timeline cleanse. I'm going to see if my voice modulator works today. Let's see. Here we go. Timeline cleanse. Yeah, did that work, guys? I don't know. Did it work? Timeline cleanse. Did I sound like a robot there? Wait. Timeline cleanse. Hey, you guys are awesome. You raggedy bush. I love these things. All right, so first up, here's a fun fact for you guys. When I was a kid, when I was just a little chillins, I used to want to be a drummer. And so I told my mom this. I took percussion in the 7th and 8th grade, and my mom bought me a drum set. She did. She bought me a drum set, and I think I played it for a couple of days. And then she packed that shit up, put it in the closet, said, "Don't ever touch this again." But here's a dad who is supporting his child's possible future profession. Look at the face. Oh, I love it. This little girl. Yeah, she's like, yeah. Uh-huh. Hey, 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 hey. Yeah. That little girl. Adorable. How could I not share adorableness with you guys? Next up, this next clip revises that age-old question of why did the chicken cross the road? I don't think I've ever heard that question answered adequately, but I have an update on that question. Why did the chicken chase the dog? What's happening here? It looks like they're playing tag. The chicken, he stopped and came back the other way. There's a woofie. Look at him go. This looks like a legit game of tag. It's crazy. That chicken is fast and smart. He's like waiting for the dog. Look at it. And then he was like, "I got you, bitch." That's amazing. That is truly amazing. I didn't even know that chickens could get down like that in a game. Next up, this video just amazed me. Like, you know how some people are really, really good at their jobs, right? There's some people who do jobs that are sometimes, they're very physical jobs, right? And after a while, they get so good at it, they can do it without even looking, without even thinking about it. Well, I found a video compilation of people who do their jobs at super speed, and here we go. This, I could never do this. I'd have bandages all over my hands. Look at this. Watermelon slicing. That's amazing. And probably a very sharp knife. Check this out. Very efficient. This. Hey, the windows. He does windows. Count that cheddar. That's nice. So fancy. I love it. Look at this guy. Oh, no. Shorty Rock here has got skills. Check him. Now, you just wiped your nose with that hand. I don't want that on my pizza. I don't want that pizza. Look at this guy. This does not look like fun at all. What do they call those when they're that tiny? That's not is that silver dollar pancakes? Cotton candy. Yeah. Threshing? Silver dollar. There we go. Yeah. Okay. You guys ain't right. You asked if that was Weed Whacker Eric. I'm gonna tell him. Eric, where are you at? Are you out here, Eric? Weed Whacker, these guys are clowning on you, man. That's fine. I'm sure Eric is very highly skilled at his job. Hey, we should see if he would perform some kind of thing like that for us, and then put it on video, and we can share it on the show. Yeah, yeah. He used to send me pictures of stuff, different jobs that he was doing. The guy does like a lot of different, very fascinating, interesting work. All right, let's see. 6:24. All right, guys. You know what time it is. Because I am late, I am having to deny you of that roll call, which is why, fun fact, which is why at the top of the hour, at the beginning of the show, I like to shout your names out during the chair dance thing. That's what it is. That's what it is. But you guys know I love you. You know I love you, but I got a shit ton of content, which is why I'm late. And there it is. All right. At the top of the hour, our very first story is about a man by the name of Andrew Brown Jr. If you're unfamiliar with this case, Andrew Brown Jr. was in his vehicle, in his driveway, and he was approached by police, by a lot of police. And his hands were on the steering wheel, and they began firing into his vehicle as they attempted to serve him with a warrant. This is the information that I have. I'm not sure if it's 100% accurate, but I'm 90% accurate that it's about 85% accurate. Yeah, it's the fog of information. This is the best we can do. Even the family themselves are just for today. For today, they are seeing this video for the very first time. Liz Krill says she watched the movie Nobody. Excellent suggestion. Please suggest more. I will do it every week. This is what I do on the show. When I watch movies and TV shows, I do share it with the audience. And yes, Jen Murphy, the family did finally view the video today, which is why Elizabeth City in North Kakalaki declared a state of emergency. Did this happen? Yeah, it just happened. Amanda wants to know if it just happened or was this little while back. It just happened last week. And let's just go ahead and jump on into this.
You know, I say often that only in this country can you have the trial of Derek Chauvin be interrupted by the death of Dante Wright, be interrupted by the death of Adam Toledo, be interrupted by the death of Micaiah Bryant, and now we find ourselves here in Elizabeth City. And so I'm tired.
That is Bakari Sellers. And yeah, he's tired, and so am I. And when he reads off the names of the killings by police that we're being interrupted by, it's insane. I see people are asking, did they show it all? Cha Cha wanted to know if they showed it all. No, there was a 20-second clip from one body camera, and then they told the family that the video was going to be redacted, which makes absolutely no sense at all. Either you show it all or you show nothing. Don't show us some redacted bullshit, okay? Susie Brizuela says the family only saw a 20-second snippet. They are demanding to see the rest. RJ says, say what time it is, please. It's 6:28 Eastern Standard Time. Yes. Um, I guess you guys want to know what if I'm buffering or not. I don't think I'm buffering. But anyway, the gentleman pictured here was Andrew Brown Jr. They fired into his vehicle from behind. From behind. He's no threat from behind. He was no threat from the front or from the side. He was unarmed. He's been described by his family as and people who know him as not violent. He did have some offenses, which is irrelevant. It's irrelevant. If you have a mass murderer, if police have a mass murderer who just killed 9 people in a church, you should be able to escort them to the police car without a hair on their head harmed, as they did with Dylan Roof. Okay? Enough already. How many times you lose track? You lose track. It's so frequent that you hear these episodes. So the city, Elizabeth City, um, put their city in a state of emergency because they were concerned that there was going to be civil unrest. And you know what? I can't blame them. I cannot blame them. Melissa McQueen says it's a free for all on black men. That's right. That's right. I'm sick and tired of it. And you know what? Normally, I try to preach like, don't damage property. But you know what? Screw the property. Seriously, seriously. I don't even care right now. I don't care. You let me know when they give more of a damn about human lives, about human black lives, more than they care about that goddamn property. I don't give a shit about the property. I don't. And I understand on the one hand, you're like, yeah, but what if they're damaging black businesses and blah, blah, blah. I get that. But people really are fed up right now. Amanda Crawford says property can be replaced, people cannot. This is true. Release the footage. Where's Wooten? The power of the people is stronger than the people in power. That's right. Speedtopia says property has insurance. Very astute fact. Thank you. Samantha B says that's what trials are for. Karen Purdy says if they're so concerned, then stop murdering POC. That's people of color. So here's another, I don't want to call it interesting, but I don't even know what else to call it. This individual here, this is Isaiah Brown, no relation to Andrew Brown. Isaiah Brown called police, called 911 in Virginia, and he was on the call with 911 when a deputy showed up and pumped his body with 10 bullets. With 10 bullets. He mistook the cordless phone he was on for a gun. When I heard about him, I was like, wait, are they talking about Andrew Brown? No, it was another Brown. Yes, Jen Murphy, that's right. He had a phone, no gun. It's an epidemic. I don't, I remember back in the days when I was just a teenager and just coming up, and there were incidents like this, and it feels like a whole hell of a lot more now. It feels like a ton more. I don't know if it's because we have a more reliable network of national reporting, but you know, I've been saying reform the cops. I've been saying reform the police, reform the police. And people on the far left are like, you stupid. You don't know what you're talking about. They can't be reformed. They have to be disbanded. They have to be, what's the other word they use? Defunded. And I'm like, you know, I fight back. I push back on that because that messaging is not getting us anywhere. But messaging isn't getting us anywhere. Whether it's reform the police or defund them, it's not getting us anywhere. Reform and replace, Stella Baxter says. Amanda Crawford says, take cops' guns away. I don't know if taking their guns away helps them in a life or death situation. I don't know. You have to, this has to be reimagined, you know, the cops, the police, as the system currently exists. It is corrupt. There's a lot of people that are corrupt and that demilitarize the police, as Mila J says. Stephanie says reform, retrain, reintegrate. That sounds closest to where I think we need to be, you know. But there is something to be said about the defunding thing. I know that it's a problematic messaging, but the whole concept behind defunding is stop giving them this much shit to handle and reduce their workload, their, you know, the things that they respond to. Send other people to domestic disputes, send other people to incidents where there is a disturbed individual who needs to be, you know, dealt with. Stop sending cops out as hammers looking for nails. Oh, Susie Brizuela had an interesting idea. Let the cops shoot paintballs. Yeah, I mean, everything does not require a dead black man or woman at the end result of it. Wilbur McCarthy says they have become so freaking trigger happy that they don't even try to de escalate the situation first. Bingo. Bingo. That was my instant reaction on the Micaiah Bryant episode. He didn't even attempt to de-escalate at all. He shouted 3 times, "Get on the ground! Get on the ground! Get on the ground!" And then pop, 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 4 bullets. That was it. That was it. And people are like, "He was about to stab that girl." Figure out a different way to get it done. Because one dead girl and one alive girl, that's not an acceptable situation at all. Period. Sheila says defund. That might have to happen. I know Joe is not going. That will be, you know, that will be political suicide for any politician who comes out and says defund. I think political suicide, because you have to deal with the reality of your surroundings. You have to deal with, you know, the not just the people in your own echo chamber, but the majority of people who are outside your echo chamber. So that's where messaging becomes critical. But it's sickening. It's absolutely sickening. And I will keep you guys posted as I learn more about this story. But, you know, oh, Stella Baxter says the bully won in that stabbing case. Yeah, too. Yeah, the quote unquote girl in pink was actually a woman who was the reason why Micaiah Bryant had called the police in the first case. It's terrible.
How does apportionment work? The
Wait.
method of equal.
I forgot that I had queued that up. My next story is about the United States Census. Now, some of you guys may remember last year the census was going on. And what is the census? The census is what we use to count every single person, not citizen. And this was a debate that came out last year, whether we count people or citizens. And you have to count the people, just because inevitably that is what's going to determine how many resources and how much representation is given to each state. And so today we learned that the US Census results are complete, and there's some disappointing things that came out of this.
How does apportionment work? The method of equal proportions is used to distribute the 435 seats in the U.S. House of Representatives among the 50 states based on their population. This ensures that each congressional district has roughly the same number of people to represent.
The Trump Reaper says she hates the census. She knows we need it, but she hates doing it. I hear you. I don't remember how long it took me to do the census. It might have been 5 or 10 minutes, but it is so important right now. Denise brings up the point that I was going to share with you guys. New York and California each lost a seat. Now you might think that, oh, what's one seat? Yo, one seat is a very big deal. It doesn't matter if they're in the two of the most populous states in the country. Texas picked up 2 states. Texas, and Texas is not blue yet. Now, you could argue and say, I see a lot of people saying we need a redo on that because it happened during a pandemic year. And during a pandemic year, everything's kind of different. You know, people are leery about going out, people are leery about coming in, and they can't reach as many people, whatever, but it's done. This thing is done. It's not going to be over. It's not going to be done over again. So, excuse me. So what we learned, right, that in the United States of America, there are currently 331.4 million people. Sheila Bird says it can be done online. I know that because I did it online. Indeed. We also learned that there was a 7% growth rate since the year 2010, since the last time the census was done. It's done every 10 years. And apparently 7% growth in population is the slowest population growth in history. Washington, D.C.'s population, however, increased by 14%. That's yet more reason why they should have representation in Congress, why they should be a state. So here, the big news. So the big news was that 3 of the states that voted for Joe Biden lost seats in the House. And, you know, Nancy is not happy about this. Many of us are very unhappy. And so 6 states are gaining seats in the House of Representatives. Those 6 states are Texas, which got 2, Colorado, Florida, Montana, Oregon, and North Kakalaki. They gained seats. The 7 states that lost seats are California, Illinois, Michigan, New York, Ohio, Pennsylvania, and West Virginia. Mountain Mama, take me home, country road. Sorry, I can't resist. West Virginia. Yeah, so those states lost seats. So that's a big deal. Next year we start they start doing the redistricting. Redistricting is what determines who where your district is. Yeah. And so many people are talking about gerrymandering and how these districts are drawn very unfairly. They're drawn so that that representative gets to pick and choose who he serves. And it's very unfair. It's wrong. This is that chart showing DC's population growth. Meanwhile, Puerto Rico suffered an 11% loss in population. Minnesota did well for themselves, by the way. Minnesota, they had 75% participation in the census. Yeah. So as a result, they keep all of their seats. They lose nothing. My quirks like Concernicus, Kakalaki, and the singing effects. Thank you. So here's how close this was, and here's how important your participation in the census is. 89 votes. 89 people. New York State was 89 people short of holding on to that one seat. If they had reached 89 more people, New York would have held on to that seat. So this is also a little bit of bad news here. It says partisan control over redistricting 2020's congressional map. Now, all those red states you see there, that's showing that that Republicans are in charge of redistricting those areas. That's very bad news. Very bad, because you see three of the most populous states there controlled by Republican legislatures. So that's Florida already didn't need more representation, but they got it. Texas, meanwhile, Texas added 2 states, and Texas has consistently grown in the number of seats they get every time the census is done. They get more seats. Are we surprised? I'm a little bit surprised. Yeah, I'm disappointed more than anything. Changes in state congressional seat counts due to 2020's reapportionment. That was that video I showed you guys in the beginning of this segment. The apportionment is showing how many seats each of these states have now. So this graphic here shows an electoral map. So this new reapportionment changes the electoral map, just so you guys know. As Susie B points out, just one more thing to overcome. Yes. So this shows, how a tie could possibly happen with the new apportionment of electoral votes. Now here, this graphic here shows how our electoral map would have looked in 2020 if we had the current number of seats where they are. Joe Biden, instead of having 306 electoral votes, would have only had 303. So we're down by 3 now. We're down by 3. We got to pick up those seats elsewhere. And Trump, instead of having only 232, goes up to 235. That's not a deal breaker. But again, the next election is going to be closer, guys. Trust me, it will be. It will. So what does this mean? It means we have to work hard next year, this year and next year, to win some more seats, to flip the balance more in our favor. It's that simple. We can't rest on the laurels of our 2020 victory. That shit is already ancient history. Yeah, I did mean 2022. What did I say? Well, that's what I meant. 2022. Thank you. Sometimes I'm talking and my brain doesn't even recognize what the hell I'm saying. 2022. 2022. But also 2024 is going to be important too. 2022 and beyond. Thank you, Julien Gauthier. All right. I'm going to go ahead and jump on to the next segment. And this is last night's Oscar Awards. Now, I'm not a big fan, frankly. I'm not a big fan of award shows. I am a big fan of movies. As you guys know, movies is my thing. That's what I do. I have a collection of movies that I'm like actually proud of. I'm as proud of my movie collection as I am of my comic book collection. So, why do people watch these award shows? Or let's take the Oscars, for instance. I see M. Ward saying it was boring. I agree with you. I agree. Some people watch it for the red carpet. Yeah, people are into fashion. They want to see what people. Who are you wearing? I'm wearing Yves Saint Laurent, Oscar de la Renta, de la Hoya. Yeah, it's Angela. What the hell is her name? Angela Bassett. Excuse me. Some people watch it for those like moments, you know. Every once in a while, there's one of those moments that you're talking to your coworkers about. Oh, did you see when all those celebrities took a selfie together? It's like the biggest celebrity selfie. Yeah, I saw it. Yeah, it's okay. Or when Spike Lee jumped into Samuel Jackson's arms, you know, these feel good moments. Um, or moments that maybe not so feel good. There was like when they got the best picture winner wrong. You know, it's stuff that people are all kind of a part of that moment. Uh, or last night, for instance, one of the chuckle worthy moments of the night was when um, Glenn Close, you know, did her little doing the butt, na 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 na, sexy, sexy. Yeah, she shook her thing. And yeah, aside from that, most people are tuning in to see if the movies that they watched that they enjoyed, if the experts, the Academy experts agree with them that it was literally the best movie I've ever seen, or at least the best movie they saw that year. So Nomadland won Picture of the Year, and frankly, I didn't see most of the movies that were up for awards last night because last year was a different year. You know, last year there weren't any big movie releases. You know, I personally like to go to see the Marvel movies and other big action flicks, but I also do see, you know, movies like Parasite that won the previous year. But last year was like a blip. I don't even remember seeing any of these movie releases. So Nomadland won for movie Best Picture. Daniel Kaluuya won for Best Supporting Actor, and I was surprised by this because if he wasn't contending for the Best Actor, and his co-star wasn't, you know, contending for who was the best actor in that movie? Why are they both competing against each other for best supporting actor when at least one of them, Lakeith and Daniel Kaluuya, were both either one was the main actor and the other was supporting actor. You can't put them both. Makes no sense. Anyway, Chloe Zhao won for Best Director. She directed Nomadland. Congratulations to her. I got to check for the pronunciation of this lady here because everybody pronounces it wrong, and I want to get it right. Yes, it's Yoon Yo Chung. Huh? She won Best Supporting Actress for Minari, and I didn't see that movie either. But one of my favorite actors, Stephen Yoon, was in that, so I'd like to see that movie. Frances McDormand, all she does is rack up Oscar awards. She got her third one now for Nomadland. She's only one shy of tying the record. I think it was Katharine Hepburn who has four. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think I'm right. I think I'm right, even when I'm wrong. So the whole night seemed to be building towards this moment where my man, Chadwick Boseman, was supposed to win the Best Actor award. Now, look, don't get me wrong. I know he passed away. I know this, right? And if he had gotten it, it would have been posthumously awarded. He cannot compete for any more Oscar awards, right? But you feel like they kind of set us up. They switched the order. Usually it's Best Picture is last, not Best Actor, but they put Best Actor last. And when Joaquin Phoenix walked up onto the stage to announce the Best Actor, they were playing some soul music. He acted his ass off in Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, and yeah, there's no other chance for him to win another Oscar. That's it. This was a big missed opportunity, I think, by the Academy. And I understand that Anthony Hopkins is a fine, excellent actor. I love Anthony Hopkins, don't get me wrong, but the dude wasn't even there to accept the award. What kind of shit is this, bro? And so Joaquin was like, well, he's not here. Gotta go. End of show. What? What kind of shit? Look, I didn't. It's like I'm at a restaurant, right? Look, I ordered a good ending to this show. What you gave me here was a steaming platter of dog shit. And a platter full of dog shit. And the platter itself is made of dog shit. And you gave me a knife and a fork. This knife and fork is also made of dog shit. In fact, this waiter who brought this to me consists completely of dog shit. How did I get here? I'm the movie watcher. I'm the consumer. When I go to see a movie, I want a good ending. I want a good ending. I don't want to spend 2.5 hours watching a movie and instead of the hero of the story, winning the day, getting the bad guy, getting a promotion or whatever, instead of that happening, you throw his ass in jail and then he gets shanked by somebody and his body is burned. Come on. Nobody wants to see that shit. And that, Academy, is what you subjected us to last night. I don't care about your, any of that bullshit. Anthony Hopkins he could win another one next year. He's so good. Chadwick needed this one. Shame on you. Come on. Anyway, so that's that. That's all I have to say about the goddamn Oscars. Yeah, I know he's old, and I'm sure the movie Anthony Hopkins won for was called The Father, which I do intend to watch, as well as The Sound of Metal, Nomadland, of course. And there's even one called Mank, which a lot of people said was boring unless you were a fan of that Orson Welles movie, which the name always escapes me, Citizen Kane. And I am a fan of that movie, so I might check it out. But so many people are like, that shit was boring. Boring like the Oscars. All right. So that's all I have to say about that. It is now time, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Peter is the boss, but my brain got it. All right. It is now time, ladies and gentlemen, for nothing. No, it is time for Raggedy Bush. And today's You Raggedy Bush is always raggedy. He is the guy that when he appears on the screen, you reach for your remote control and you're like, I can't watch this fool. And no, I'm not talking about Chuck Todd. I am talking about Rick Santorum.
If you think about this country, I don't know of any other country in the world that was settled predominantly by people who were coming to practice their faith. They came here because they were not allowed to practice their particular faith in their own country. And so they came here mostly from Europe, and they set up a country that was based on Judeo-Christian principles. When I say Judeo-Christian, the Mosaic Laws, 10 Commandments, and the teachings of Jesus Christ, the morals and teachings of Jesus Christ. That's what our founding documents are based upon. It's in our DNA. You know, if you think of other countries like Italy and Greece and China and Turkey and places like that, they've all sort of changed over time. I mean, they've been there for millennia in many cases. And their culture has sort of evolved over time. But not us. We came here and created a blank slate. We birthed a nation from nothing. I mean, there was nothing here. I mean, yes, we have Native Americans, but candidly, that there isn't much Native American culture in American culture. It was born of the people who came here pursuing religious liberty to practice their faith, to live as they ought to live, and have the freedom to do so. Religious liberty. Those are the two bulwarks of America, faith and freedom. I mean, you hear it all the time now, faith and freedom, faith and freedom. But it is what makes America unique in the world.
Good Lord. Good Lord. Just the confidence with which he spews these lies is sickening. I see a few comments here. Scribble My Dibbles has entered the chat. I didn't see you this whole time. Are you late? Karen Purdy, Scribble My Dibbles says, they stole a nation. Karen Purdy says, you took a nation. Indeed we did. I'm including myself because I am American, but I'm not proud of that part of our history when we literally stole an entire nation where this guy says they built a nation. Yeah, you didn't. No, you didn't. You stole it. You stole the resources. You killed the people who were you decimated them. You committed genocide. And who is he even talking to? This youth movement or whatever, their minds, see, you know how they say you can't, you're not born racist, you have to teach it. Yeah, so they are indoctrinating young minds with garbage like this. And he referenced birthing a nation, which is, you know, if you're only living inside your own deluded thoughts, then you pretend like you didn't just reference like a movie that was about the Ku Klux Klan. Huh? Are you that clueless, dude? You sit in CNN every day amongst liberals. You would think that's by osmosis. You would learn some of the shit you can and cannot say. Lucy says natives are the real Americans. Native Americans are the real Americans. Yes. Jamie says, I would like to Native American culture his face. For real. For real. This is the problem with America, that, you know, that kids are not being taught the real history. I remember I wasn't taught the real history. I had to learn that shit when I grew up, when I was in college. I didn't even think in high school. And I went to a good high school, Believe me. Those and more says those people could have stayed home and Uber delivered their trophy to their house. Yes, stole from our founding fathers. I'm just checking out your comments here. So, yeah, it was an invasion, and this is nothing to be proud of. How we took this country over. In the year 1988, okay, in the year 1988, the U.S. Senate had a resolution. I'm going to read it to you. It says, the confederation of the original 13 colonies into one republic was influenced by the political system developed by the Iroquois Confederacy, Native Americans, as were many of the principles incorporated into the Constitution itself. So not only did we steal their land, not only did we exterminate their people, we even stole their constitution and their whole political setup and claimed that we made this shit up. Complete cultural appropriation. And it just makes me mad how angry they are towards outsiders and immigrants. We were the immigrants that came over and fucked shit up. These self-righteous jackasses who stand and want to pontificate on how great the American culture is. The American culture is just a mishmash. It's just a mishmash of everybody else's culture incorporated into one. That's all it is. So many different things about American culture have been stolen and co-opted. It's unreal. And CNN, you guys need to fire this jackass. If there's any producers from CNN watching this show now, I'm going to make it my mission to see to it that you lose so many followers, so many viewers, whenever that jackass is on the screen, it's not even funny. It's not even funny. This is not cancel culture. This is accountability culture. It's consequential culture, whatever it is. Get your act together, CNN. Don't forget what side your bread is buttered upon. You know I mean it if I'm looking in the camera, because I never look in the camera. You guys notice that? I'm always looking at the comments, because you guys are my peeps. You're my audience. We do this. And you know what? I like to listen to my audience. Huh? You listen to the audience. Damn it. Yeah. I actually... your boy Ken is saying, make it a hashtag. I think it already is. I think the hashtag is Fire Santorum, something like that. Pete is a boss says, this is why I don't watch CNN. Stella Baxter says, MSNBC is my go-to station these days. Okay, so I do watch CNN only when I think it's 1 o'clock when Chuck Todd comes on. As soon as I hear Chuck Todd's voice, I'm like, nope, click, and I switch over to what used to be Brianna Kyler's show. I haven't seen her in a while. I think she's on some other show. But yeah, it's mostly MSNBC, aside from that little blip where Chuck Todd is on. Okay, so where's my book? My book is all the way over here. Because wifey did some tidying in here this weekend, because my office keep like a slob. All right, let's see if I can do this speed reading, because now it's time for the littlest president. The Littlest President is available on BrooklynDadDefiant.com. And if you go to BrooklynDadDefiant.com, you get this beautiful signature, and it also says Hui Juan. It's so beautiful. We love it so much. The Littlest President is starring. Come on. Messing with my phone. President Barack Obama. Hillary Rodham Clinton. Speaker Nancy Pelosi. Joseph R. Biden, and the R stands for ready to kick that ass. Bladder Bear pooping, holding the puppet strings on Spanky McDumbass. Complicit Barbie. Rudy Giuliani. Gummy McJuicebox. Kellyanne Conjob. Stephen the Snake Miller. And Mitch McTurtle McConnell. Speed read it, baby. Speed read it. I'm not even reading. I'm just off the top of my head. It's memorized. And now our favorite page, because this is Spanky McDumbass. Spanky McDumbass is sad. He used to be rich. He used to be a businessman. He used to be a TV star. He used to have a Twitter account, and he used to be the littlest president. But now Spanky McDumbass is in jail. How did he get here? Let's go back. Boom! Boom goes the dynamite. Okay, where was I? And on election night, the state election results came in, and candidate Blue kept winning states, and Spanky was worried. Very worried. The results kept coming in, and then the news stations announced that the littlest president had just lost in the biggest landslide in history. The people had spoken. Spanky was a loser. Loser. And there I was. There was my estimate, off by 2 million for Joe Biden and off by a whole lot of $1 million for Spanky McDumbass. And that's only because my estimate for Spanky McDumbass was off by that much, because that was the amount that Spanky had cheated. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care. And I'm not starting a conspiracy theory. I just know in my heart, yeah, he got 50-something million. I don't think he got more than 60 million. I think as insistent as he was that there was cheating, he's saying that because he knows there was cheating, because he knows he cheated. I don't care what Chris Krebs says. He assured us this was the most secure election and blah, 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 blah. No, I'm sure Spanky was telling on himself when he says there was cheating. There was election fraud, because he's a projector. He projects all the time. And when he's pointing one finger at you, 3 fingers are pointing back at him. He is guilty of that. Of that, I am sure. I don't have any evidence. But it is what it is. Joe Biden is our president. And I do hope going forward to 2022 and 2024 that election security is looked into. We were screaming it for 4 years straight. We were like, please look into the election security. Fix this shit, because we don't want our votes hacked. We don't want them messed with. Fix it. And they ignored us the whole time. They ignored us. All right, so let's see. I got how many questions? I got time for this many questions. This many. What do you got here? We got Lee Saunders saying, did you hear that Boris Johnson is... Oh, yeah, I did hear it. Let me read this out loud. Whoo! Lee Saunders asked, did you hear that Boris Johnson is quoted saying, let the bodies pile high in their thousands? It's their main news story in the UK today. that is incredible. That, just that alone, he should resign off of that. He should. Is there a recording? I want to know if there's if somebody got him on tape saying that shit, because, whoo, he should be finished. That should be finished. So, Corey Lord says we have 2023 as our study period. Yes, indeed. Fox Hill Dreams wants to know, how different is NYC compared to before COVID? It's different because people are wearing masks now. Not as many as you would hope, but yeah, people are wearing masks still, and that's good. That's the major difference. But yeah, I haven't been in Manhattan. Manhattan is like, is the main hub. But the outer boroughs, Brooklyn and Queens, in the Bronx, those people are, I believe, mostly doing what they have to do. Charlie 3 Delta says McConnell and Miss Lindsay both cheated. Yeah, I will never get over how big those two won. That doesn't add up. Doesn't add up. If we had cheated, we would have booted those two jackasses first. The Trump Reaper says, BDD, are you going to watch 50 Years of Sesame Street tonight on ABC? I didn't remember that was on. I might check it out. Yeah, because I grew up watching Sesame Street, at least in the very early years. Yeah, I was a dedicated Sesame Street watcher. So yeah, I'm not sure if I'm going to watch the whole thing, but yeah, I'm going to check it out, or at the very least, I will DVR it. Last question from Love My Truck wants to know, when does Kamala become president? Your guess is as good as mine. I'm guessing 2028. After Joe serves 2 terms in office, or if he only opts for 1 term, then 2024. Final answer. All right, guys, thank you for another wonderful episode of Storytime with BDD. I'm your host, BDD, a.k.a. Brooklyn Dad. If you got to go out tonight, please remember to wear your masks. 2 of them. 2. Wear your gloves. Keep your social distance. 6 feet or better. And have a lovely, relaxing evening. Sunny day, sweeping the clouds away. All right. I will see you guys here tomorrow. Same time, same place. I love you all. Peace. Boom. I did not see Roger here today. Hey! Fox Hill Dreams, I will check. The Trump Reaper just farted a real Giuliani. Thank you, Liz. Much appreciated, Corey Lord. Hey! Jennifer Jennifer Rayner says there was a bomb scare at the high school across from your house today. I did not see that. That is terrifying. Hey! We're getting our second dose on May 15th. I believe that is a Saturday. Not a Wednesday, but a Saturday. Yeah. As always, Cindy C reminding us to please remember to like the video. It would have been helpful if I had remembered that an hour ago. But yes, please do. And now it's time for you all to listen to these words as I say, you need to leave.